Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the next thrilling instalment of the outhouse refurb. Anyway, so I'm not quite sure what number episode this is, 5 or 6 I believe. Anyway, so you've just seen a bit of real-time footage of me cutting a piece down to make a door. I shall show you that now. Now, as I have quite a lot of material to play with, I'm not being too fussy really, but obviously I've taken one of these doors off, which is here now, and I've measured up the distance, and basically cut it down. This, and if I turn it around you'll see why, is to save me resetting all these hinges. So hopefully that will coincide somewhere around there, more or less. All I can do then is screw the hinge into there. Now, I know it takes off a finished edge, but I can buy the material if I really so desire to retape this on the top and the bottom. But as I say, as it's only a temporary measure, I may not bother, and you won't see it. Well, I'll see it of course, but it won't be seen most of the time because the worktop will come over the top of it, and that won't, it'll only be when you open the door. So that's one. Just got to cut another one now. Take that other door off, cut it down to this size, which happens to be 80 centimeters long. It's not, to be honest, it's not that critical, because as long as it's a couple of mil below the top of this, just enough to clear the worktop. And then the bottom, as I say, that's flushed, so it's not going to be that critical lengthwise. So I'll cut the other one down to this, and then hopefully then I can fit on this side, and that'll be the two doors fitted. Now, I didn't film it, at least I don't think I have. I'll put in these shelves in. First of all, the battery ran out, and I was trying to make most of the weather to get on with it. And anyway, it's just basically cutting down some pieces of this just to fit inside. I don't know if you can see in the back, I've bought some batten to support the shelf. I could have used these to support the shelves, and or these things. I'm not quite sure what they call them. But what I've discovered that these tend to work loose and then don't support. There's not a lot of support underneath the shelf for that. And similarly with this, but also it means I got loads of screws to put in, and they're quite awkward to get the screws in. I was just putting a bit of batten at the back and the side, at the ends, just making sure I got the levels, and then just screwing them in. It's easy. So I'd roughly found out what I was going to store in here to get some sort of height. Then all I did was, I think this is 30 battens on the end of 34 centimeters long. So all I've done is made a mark where I wanted the shelf or the batten to be, depending on the gap I want. Put in a mark, using a square to square, and then using a level, I marked a line all the way along, so then I could hold that to the line, screw it in. So that's that one. Then I extended the line out, put a mark here, put the level across, all the way across the other end, got it level, put onto there, so I could put that end in. So those are then, and then I double check the level of this, which it is, and then just put the batten at the back to match up with the ends. Now, over a short length it's not so much of an issue, but over a long length the batten would tend to be doing this, so you need to make sure that that the back part, the back batten is level, And all you do then is you fix one end level with this piece, or that end, whichever way you start. Fix it, and then work your way along it and adjust the height of the batten if there's any flex in it as you go along, and then you finish up the other end. There's a little bit of, well, actually not no, this one there is, yeah, just a tiny, it's about a mil if that, but I can live with that because by the time you put weight on it. Yeah, so that's that sorted. I'll obviously fix the hinges on, get this all cleaned out, then that'll be one cupboard finished. Is there anything else to say about that? This central piece here, well, I say central piece, this piece here I've fixed in now. I managed to get the blocks in, fix that in. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now, put on time lapse, and then to do the other door. Bye for now. Before I show you a bit of time lapse, I've determined that length of the finished door is 80 centimeters. So to get these hinges, I think these come in. Are these in within camera? Yeah. To get these hinges equidistant, all I'm going to do is find the centre and mark back 40 centimeters that way and that way, and then cut the two ends off, and that's it. Right, bit of time lapse. I shall show you the door in a minute, but I just want to explain how I'm arriving at putting these battens on. So, I don't know if you can see from there. I hope I looked at the screen. It should be alright. Anyway, right. So, obviously, this is not the batten. It's just a demonstration piece. So I've measured the height of the recycling bin, which will fit in here. And the top of it comes to that line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the batten on top of that, and then the shelf on top of the batten, obviously. And that line give me the space to pull the bin in and out. The shelf on the top then will accommodate things like recycling bags, bin liners, all that sort of stuff. So it'll be in the spot that it's required. Right. So what I've done now, and the line isn't quite spot on, but it's what I've done, I've leveled the line up here now. It's within 2 mil, see small. So this line is level, front to back. Put a mark on the corner, and now I'm going to put the level on there. And that's it. Get this level. So we're going to put it there. Just double check that it's down a bit. There. Right. Yeah. Ooh. My doesn't do your knees any good. All this. Right. So I've got that line from there to there is level. So that should be. Now all I'm going to do now is put that on the line there. Make sure that's level. That's what. Not quite there yet. Tell you what, let's take it away from there in a minute. Start again. what it is, the material is so slippery and slidey that it's difficult to move it. Well, you can move it, of course, but right, is that it there? You've only got to breathe, and the thing. Yeah, that's it. Right. So. Okay, so obviously I've got two lines to work with. So a line there, and a line there, and that is level to that. So I just screw the back into this side, put a bit at the back as well. Although it probably does need it over this span, but since I've got the material, I'll use it anyway. Because I'll get into the realms of, I'll keep that because that might come in handy one day. And it never, well, it does, but 20 years down the road. So I'm going to pause the camera for a minute to cut three pieces ready, and then we'll get those in. Right, okay, everybody, welcome back. So as I say, just going to fix this in, batten. So I've cut some battens. This is, what did I say, it's 33 and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or 32 and a half. It's just, anyway, so that's where it's going to come to. Now I've pre-screwed all these, put the screws in prior to fixing, because if you try and do that and then put the screws in, it'll move about too much. So now then, the only thing is, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on the line and mark a line on the top because it's easy to see above the. Yeah. Now there we are. So if it moves, I know I can see where it. Seems to be okay in the back, just dropped a bit. Yeah. That's one. Right, here we are. There we are. Perfect. Not sure why. Not sure why he's doing that. It's almost one. Right, where is it? Let me see if we can get the middle one in. Yeah. Whew. Right, it's not going to. Don't know why it's not going in. But there we are. That's better. screws were pushing the wood away from the button away from the. Right. That's not going anywhere. Whew. Okay, so I'm gonna. This is a bit of shelving I'm gonna put in the top there. I'll show it to you shortly. So now I could measure it, but I'm gonna try a little method that for small pieces you can do. Put your weight on there. Right. So I've marked the width of the gap, which against the thing. So all I'm gonna do, as long as this is square, which may not be actually. So let's see how square this end is. It's not too bad. I'm not sure this square is as accurate as it should be. Anyway, put a little mark. I'm just going to line it up with this there, and then just I'm using that finger against the edge there, locking it in place. Once you get the mark on there, there we are. Trim that down. See if that works. Okay, so that's more or less finished now. So as you can see, I got put a shelf on the top. That would take things like the, as I said, the recycling bags, etc., ready for the recycling bin there. I'm depending on what I've got left, I may eventually put a door on this. I'm not worried about it at the moment. It'll be okay like that. So these doors are finished. They're not on soft hinges, unfortunately, soft close hinges. But there we are. I'm just reusing what I've got. So they're in. As I say, I may finish this top edge off at some point. But I say I'm just waiting for a bit of worktop to go across now. I'll put the camera behind it. I don't know if it'll pick it up. Where you can see these white blocks. Just settled in the front of the shelf. They were tricky to put in, to say the least. Had to resort to using a small sash clamp to grip them in place, so I could put this one screw in. Once one screw was in, the other one was easier. So there we are. That's done. Now, yeah, you can see. Actually, I may be able to pull that in a bit. Don't know. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can pull that in a bit. But the doors are warped because over the years they've got damp. You know. Right, so that's that done. Puffed. Right, so what's next? There we are. I don't know. That batten on the back piece, I put a bit of glue on it as well, just to make doubly sure. Right, what's next then? So obviously worktop on this. We're giving this back wall, this section, a coat of paint. So now once the worktop is in, I could do it now I suppose, before the worktop, just give that section another coat of paint, because behind the cupboard you're not going to see that, of course. So yeah, another coat of paint on the visible part. Then gonna start thinking about removing all this stuff here. Start filling this up with bits and pieces of the crock pots, as they call them, or whatever. Slow cookers. Yeah. So I'm using this as a way of forcing me to get rid of stuff, because obviously I'm reducing the amount of storage space. So I'll hoover this out, or my son will hoover it out in a minute. So that fits in there. And then recycling bags. Yeah. So, yeah. Right, I think I'll call that a day for this one. And see you in the next one. Bye for now.